Are you serious? Not only is Terence Bud Crawford a pound for pound fighter, he's a pound for pound hypocrite. Huh? Yo, Terence Bud Crawford took the X, formerly known as Twitter, to reply to a Teofimo Lopez tweet in which Teofimo Lopez put out there his deal that was on the table for the potential fight versus Subriel Matias, which stated, I will get sliced for this, but this was to drop my first pay-per-view and showcase that I cannot sell in bigger venues. It was against a Puerto Rican, which should have hosted in New York, not Vegas. Hashtag boxing. The boxing business knows what happens if when I miss the incentives. WBO Junior Welterweight title defense versus Subriel Matias on pay-per-view. March 15th, T-Mobile Arenas, Las Vegas, Nevada. Guaranteed payment to Teofimo Lopez, $2.6 million. Bonus payment of $250,000 upon the pay-per-view reaching 80,000 buys in the United States. 50% of all pay-per-view venue received by the promotion after the first 100,000 pay-per-view buys in the United States. 50% of all gate revenue received by the promotion above 1.5 million. Now, this video is not to discuss whether you believe if that deal was good enough for Teofimo Lopez to sign or not. This is to highlight the hypocrisy of Terence Bud Crawford, in which he replied to that tweet. Terence Crawford tweeted, 2.6 is crazy work to be getting when you this big star you say you is. Ha 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 ha. It all makes sense now why you was being a goofy now. I mean, I don't understand what he means by being goofy. What? Because Teofimo Lopez was daring to be great, trying to call you out, just like you calling out Canelo Alvarez, trying to move up, 2 to 3 division up. As you all know, that Madrimov fight, you didn't send a statement in that fight. So I can't say that you an elite 154-pounder, but you are an elite 147-pounder and an elite pound-for-pound fighter in the sport of boxing. One of the greatest to ever lace them up. Can't take nothing away from Bud Crawford. But if Teofimo Lopez is goofy to call you out, you must be a bigger goofy in calling Canelo Alvarez out. Yet, in all seriousness, a fighter that's daring to be great and is in position to dare to be great is not goofy. Regardless if people feel like it's a mismatch or not, or if it's a great fight, if it doesn't have that type of momentum, because I don't believe that Terence Bud Crawford and his performance with Madrimov grants that momentum to a Canelo Alvarez fight, right? And maybe a lot of people feel like that fight with Teofimo Lopez had with Steve Claggett didn't have a great momentum going into a Terence Bud Crawford fight, right? But at the end of the day, daring to be great is not goofy. But Terence Bud Crawford, the hypocrisy is you're trying to throw darts at Teofimo Lopez with a $2.6 million. And of course, Teofimo Lopez has voiced his displeasure with Top Rank, just like you have voiced your displeasure with Top Rank. Even if Teofimo Lopez feel like, that Top Rank wasn't was catering to black fighters, you said that Top Rank was catering to white and Latino fighters, right? Let's not forget that you sued Top Rank. There you go. Remember that? Arum of bias favoring white and Latino fighters in lawsuit against Top Rank. Welterweight champion Terence Bud Crawford filed a lawsuit Wednesday against his former promoter Top Rank in Nevada, alleging racial bias on part of the company's chairman, Bob Arum. Trying to indicate that Teofimo Lopez is not a big star, but you used to claim like you were a big star, but you couldn't sell either. Even Bob Arum asked if he believes Top Rank can keep Terence Crawford after this contract expires in October 2021. The question is, do we want to keep him? I could build a house in Beverly Hills on the money I've lost on him in the last 3 fights. So you wasn't a big star either. So why are you trying to throw darts on Teofimo Lopez? Also, the first time and the only time we heard Turkey Out Shake losing money was promoting your fight. Terence Crawford versus Madrimov, negligible pay-per-view numbers reportedly cost Turkey Out Shake $50 million in loss. Man, now you ain't just saying make Bob Arum lose money. You made Turkey Out Shake lose money. Man, time out, Bud Crawford. You trying to make fun of Teofimo Lopez $2.6 million. You made $2.5 million versus Madrimov in your last fight. Terence Crawford disclosed purse for the fight against Majumov was $2.5 million, while Majumov was $750,000. However, these figures don't include other sources of income like pay-per-view earnings and sponsorships. Yeah, just like every other event, right? Explanation: the California State Athletic Commission released the purse figures for the fight. So this is an official purse. $2.5 million, and you try to make fun of Teofimo Lopez 2.6. Yeah, you the guy that did all this pay-per-view and money with Earl the True Spence. And talking about Earl the True Spence, let's not forget that the reason why you're in the position where you at today is because Earl the True Spence went against his business handlers and threw you a bone. If Earl Spence just could have been like, you know what? I'm going to do what Al Heyman and Showtime wants me to do and fight Keith and Tom Thurman. See, Earl Spence threw you a bone. Now you acting like you this big shot. Oh, because Turkey Al Sheikh is trying to secure a fight with you and Canelo Alvarez. But let's not forget, that's just Turkey Al Sheikh that wants to do that. That's not what other promoters would have put up. Huh? Because you think that Turkey Al Sheikh is some type of sugar daddy. Huh? And you're boasting up because Turkey Al Sheikh is a fan of yours and he's willing to give you a Canelo Alvarez, even though that is a mismatch, right? You're trying to act like everybody is little and you all this big bad wolf and all this top dog and you're high and everybody is low. Man, please stop it. Stop being a hypocrite. You complain just like Teofimo Lopez have complained and just like other fighters have complained about their promotional relationship between fighter and promoters, right? It happens in the sport of boxing. We've seen the Michael Garcia situation, Andre Ward situation. We've seen your situation, Teofimo Lopez situation. It happens in the sport of boxing, all right? And this is what I mean about the hypocrisy. Man, stay humble, Terence Crawford. Stay humble. Let me tell you like this. Turkey Al Sheikh, shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh. But he's the sugar daddy right now, And you're his stripper. Let's be honest. Let's be real, You know what I'm saying? He's just throwing money. That's not what you gain. That's not your revenue. You're not an A-side. You're not truly an A-side in the sport of boxing. It took you, 37 years to be in the biggest fight, and Earl Spence was the A-side? Where were you in your first 20 fights? I could tell you where Teofimo Lopez was in his first 15 fights. And you know what? If it wasn't for the pandemic, see, it's easy for people to throw darts at Teofimo Lopez, but if it wasn't for the pandemic, after he stole the show when you got dropped by the Mean Machine, everybody was talking about Teofimo Lopez's performance versus Richard Comey. He stole the show in Madison Square Garden. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, Teofimo Lopez versus Vasily Lomachenko would have been a sold-out crowd May 31st in Madison Square Garden. You're lucky that it was the pandemic. Anyway, I'm just calling out the hypocrisy. That's all I'm doing. I respect Terence Crawford as a fighter. 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed. And maybe the reason why you do hate Teofimo Lopez is because you know in your heart and in your mind that if it wasn't for the politics of the sport of boxing, Teofimo Lopez would be recognized respectfully by the whole world of boxing as the first 2-division undisputed world champion. If it wasn't for the franchise and the WBC, right, and beating Vasily Lomachenko, he will be respected and recognized as undisputed in the lightweight division, in which he morally is. And if it wasn't for Josh Taylor vacating his belts in the junior welterweight division, Teofimo Lopez would have been recognized as a 2-division undisputed world champion by the age of 25. Just like Derrick James told you in the lead-up fight with you and Earl the True Spence. So maybe this is a enviness or kind of mad at Teofimo Lopez. Look, let me say it like this. Teofimo Lopez is not going to be Shakur Stevenson to you. He's not going to be Keyshawn Davis. They respect you. You got them under your wing. Teofimo Lopez ain't trying to be under your wing. Teofimo Lopez wants you to be on his resume. That's the difference between Teofimo Lopez and them. And it seems like because really nobody calls you out, Terence Crawford, you feel like you're the only guy that could dare to be great. But you know what? Terence, you are great. You in the position to give another person an opportunity for them to dare to be great. It takes greatness and a fighter that's great to give somebody an opportunity to dare to be great. Seems like you're not used to being in that position because, of course, you truly was never the true A-side like that in the sport of boxing. You wasn't the money maker. You're not the cash cow. So, at the end of the day, Both these men are highly accomplished of this era. Teofimo Lopez and Terence Crawford. Maybe they could fight, maybe they won't fight. In the end of the day, in this generation, both of these guys are highly accomplished. And I give kudos to that.